Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Start. Right then, let's start. So there will be some basic questions. How to choose optional, or what are the choices that you should have before exercising an optional. Second thing is how much time. And recently there was one discussion which people are saying that if UPSC removes optional altogether, if they replace this optional with some other things, what to do? Then is it a waste exercise to keep into this optional or not? These are the things that we should first look at it. So in my class today, I'll be discussing that things. So first thing, how to choose an optional. How to choose an optional. Normally, whenever you are choosing for UPSC optional, people will say that go with that optional where you have interest. That will be the normal thing that everyone will be saying. Go with that optional where you have interest. So interest is one thing that is true. But before interest, there are two other factors that are extremely important. The first thing is everyone has to look at where I can score the maximum, despite whether you have interest or not, where I can score. Where I can score. Score is the one that we have to focus. Why score? Reason is we are here to clear UPSC. You are here to clear UPSC, and optional carries 500 marks. Out of this 500 marks, which means it is like 2 general studies papers, if you are scoring somewhere around, minimum you have to score 270. Minimum 270 should be the score. So where or which optional gives that scope? With a little preparation also you can score this 270. With a little amount of preparation also you should be able to get it 270. What do I mean by little amount of preparation? Just having a rough idea about what are the things that are there in the syllabus and preparing, not to the 100%, at least at 60% if you have prepared, you should be able to get this 270 plus. So this is the first one that you have to choose, where you can score maximum. Because the moment you are scoring 270 plus in your optional, that is going to increase your marks in mains, and that makes you to enter into personality test very easily. Personality test very easily. There are some candidates who will be scoring beyond 300 also. There will be some personalities who will be scoring beyond 300, and some options give you some freedom to go up to 330 and 340 also. 330 and 340. Some optionals like mathematics, they will go for 350 also. But don't look at this score, because this is an exception case where students from IITs who is well versed in mathematics, they will be going for it. But maximum of us, first thing is we will never opt for those optionals like engineering background streams, mathematics. These type of optional should be the least preference. But the rest of the things, as you are writing humanities, you have to be concentrating on humanities. Right? Why? I'll tell you. So minimum score should be 270 plus. On an average, look at all the rankers, look at their scores, how much they are getting. If they are getting around that subject, if they are getting around 270 and 270 plus, that is worth an option to take. Worth an option to take. 270 means you are getting 135 marks out of 250. That is decent amount. That is decent amount. Hence, as we are here to crack the exam, we are here to crack the exam. Exam will be cracked not with the subject but with the marks. whether you have little amount of subject or maximum amount of subject, it has to translate into marks. It has to translate into marks in the paper. Right. So we have to look for scores. If you have interest in the subject, you can do post-graduation, you can do PhD and doctorate on that. You have some higher studies for every subject. If you are interested in international relations, you can do PhD in international relations. If you are interested in geography, you can go for geography PhD studies, doctoral studies. That is interest. Interest means having a flair for the subject and going for in-depth of the subject, knowing everything in depth and going and studying there. But in UPSC, we are here not for in-depth. We are here to get the marks, whatever the optional that we take. That should be the prime focus. So choose an optional, whatever it is, which will give you the score of 270 or 270 plus. Minimum score should be 270, so that we will be assured a rank in the, or we should be able to enter into personality test. And if you are getting somewhere around 300 and 330, without personality test also, we will be qualifying with the mains also. At least one rank will be assured with this. So the first one is score. Score is extremely important, because whatever we are doing throughout this UPSC preparation, this is for score only. So choose that optional where you have score. Second thing is, choose that optional where you have resources. Where you have resources. What do I mean by that? I may be interested in psychology because I want to understand the psychology of others. So I have that interest, psychology. But if I take optional of psychology, which I don't know anything, then I have to search for the resources, I have to search for the mentors, I have to search for the people who evaluate my answers, I have to search for that institution which will be conducting regular mock tests. These should be there. But how many institutions are there which gives dedicated coaching for this or dedicated mentorship for this, who will conduct mock tests, these things. So in the market, you should have resources. What do I mean by resources? The material for studying, material for preparation, a ready-made note should be there. After that, your preparation to test yourself, there should be some mock tests who are conducting at regular intervals, who can evaluate and who can give it. And most importantly, at least there should be a mentor who will be guiding you throughout your answers. So at least he should be able to get you to 270 plus. These are the three things when I say resources. First thing is materials, mock tests. Once you have materials, once you are ready, you should have mock tests. You have to be ready with that. After doing mock tests, you should have a mentor who will be guiding you and who will be saying this is not the way, this is the way to go ahead. They will not be able to guide you throughout your years. At least for the first 6 months or 7 months, as long as you are in that coaching, they should be able to guide you. This is the thing. So this is the second thing. So first one is score, the second one is resources. And the third one is your interest. Third one is your interest. This is the combination on which we have to choose any optional. Not only here, any optional. If you are having a doubt which optional I have to choose, this is the one. This is the one. Second thing, how much time I should dedicate for preparing of this for this optional? How much time should I give for this optional? So, whenever you dedicate some optional, time, at least for every optional, it takes somewhere around 3.5 months to 4 months. Exclusive preparation is required. Why it requires is 2 reasons. One is the syllabus that you have will be vast. It is 2 paper syllabus. Second thing, UPSC says a student who prepares optional should have prepared to not degree level but honors degree level. For any optional, this is the thing. Not only for PSIR, all optionals. Degree is 3 years course, honors degree is 4 years course. Right. So, you should have prepared a bit extra apart from your degree. That extra preparation takes some 15 days or 20 days of time. 15 days or 20 days of time, extra time. Normally, it should take somewhere around 3 months or 3.5 months because 2 GS papers take 3 months time. So if you add 2 GS, that is like 2 papers here, that is how it takes. 3.5 to 4 months you have to give. But if you are taking some optionals like electrical engineering, civil engineering paper, mathematics paper, these things, because this time the topper was from electrical engineering branch. If you are taking that, you have to prepare that extensively, at least for 6 to 7 months, exclusively for it. Why you have to solve number of bits? This is like not humanities. You have to be able to get the answer accurately. If you are not able to get the answer accurately, you have to practice until the time you get accurately. But in humanities, you will have some margin. Whether you can write this end or that end also, no problem. You can moderate your answer. But in mathematics, this is not the thing. All technological subjects, you have to derive perfect answers. Then only you will get it. So you have to dedicate 6 to 7 months for entire completion of these subjects. So this is first thing. What is the drawback with these type of optionals? I don't say there are drawbacks if you are good at your academic profile. If your graduation is electrical engineering or civil engineering, and if you have cracked GATE exam, if you have went for Indian engineering services, if you have qualified at least for the personality test there, then you can choose that optional also. For example, look at Amol Srivastav that he has cracked. Uttal Raju, he has cracked it through electrical engineering. So what I mean to say is, you can do it, provided you should have strong foundations in your academics. Strong foundations. Right? Otherwise, my suggestion will be, don't go for with these optionals. Why? It is killing of the time. It is killing of the time. So, for the other optionals, for all the humanities optionals, you will have somewhere around 3.5 to 4 months of time. They will dedicatedly prepare for it. Now what you have to see is, with this 4 months, say for example, a student has taken one optional and they have taken 4 months of exclusive time for this. In this optional, how far you are able to address with this preparation? Can you answer some GS papers like paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4 or essay writing? Are you able to extract some content for this, from this to these papers? Is there any overlapping component? If I prepare for that, is there any overlapping for my GS papers? Then what happens? No need to prepare here. If you are preparing there, if you are practicing here itself at honors degree level, GS is degree level. You can easily correlate it. You can easily correlate it. So that the burden of preparation here reduces with the same preparation that you have. With the same preparation that you have. So choose that optional which will have overlapping component with your general studies. Overlapping component with your general studies. Why overlapping component? If I study geography as an optional, at least in one segment of geography or GS it is useful. If my optional is history, at least in one segment of GS paper, history is useful. This is what I mean. So here your work burden reduces if you prepare there. So the second priority will be time. Extremely important aspect, because time is the thing which is very limited for us. We have to crack this in one attempt or second attempt. So for that, within a short span, how to get the maximum output? How? One thing is completely dedicating for optional, and that optional having some spillover effects or some extra overlapping components with general studies papers. So choose that optional where you can utilize that proportion here. That proportion here. Third one. What if optionals are removed? Right. If optionals are removed, the first problem will be the amount that we have paid. We'll bother for the amount, right? Rather than worrying about the knowledge that we have gained. Normally people will worry, I have paid 40, I have paid 50. unnecessarily it went into drain. This will be our concepts. But leave about money. Money we can earn at any point of time, but the knowledge. Right. So once the one optional is removed altogether, if they want to remove, they give you some 1 year prior intimation itself before removing. Or they might be planning to come out with some common paper for everyone. Despite these optionals, they will be coming with some public policy optionals. This is what under consideration for UPSC is there. One committee has recommended UPSC. If you want to remove, you can bring a common paper for all the people. Right. For example, if you are from state of Karnataka conducts group 1 with a common paper. There will be common paper for everyone. That is called public administration. Right. Similarly here, what they wanted to do is, if they remove, they will bring public policy. So what if the optional is removed? What if the option is removed or replaced with some common subject which is useful for everyone or which is useful for administration per se? Public policy is something which has more relevance in administration. As a result, they can come out with this. Right. So what I mean to say is, when the optional is removed, whatever the time that you have kept, that should not go in vain. That should not go in vain. What does that mean? Again, we are synchronizing to this point. Even though if the optional is removed, whatever the time that you kept, at least you should be able to sustain with that time for the other GS papers. So there should be a guarantee. Even though if it goes, I will do this. This is the next thing that you have to focus on. After this, there is one last option that I will tell you. That is, whenever you are taking an optional, say you will be here in this preparation for somewhere around, say, 2 years, as you have preparation started now. After 2 years, unfortunately, if you have not got the rank, we have to definitely plan for higher education. Some backup should be there. With your graduation, it is not going to help. Say you'll be here for 2025, in 2026, until 2026 you may be here. After that also we have not tracked, and if you want to continue preparation, how we can do? You can join some higher educational institutions like Indian Central Universities. Like entering into JNU, Delhi University, Hyderabad Central University, Pondicherry University, University of Kerala, Karnataka, central universities, government universities. You have to enter there, just like how you are preparing here. You will have time there, you will prepare there. Meanwhile, your degree will also get completed. This is how you have to plan for your higher education. So whatever the optional that you take, it should give higher scope if you want to pursue your higher education also. There should be some scope for higher education. For example, I want to do LLB, law, masters in law, which have some relevance in the day-to-day life, which has some emerging fields where you can get some jobs easily. Even after not cracking this exam, if you want to have a backup, you should plan it from that point. How? This optional should be the link. Take for example, we have worked very hard, but we didn't clear. But my optional is, say, sociology. What they will conduct? They will conduct one CUET test in sociology. I will write it. I will complete my graduation. Once you have graduation or post-graduation from different streams, whatever the streams that you belong, irrespective of it, you can enter into any subject in post-graduation. Even though if you are from BTech or if you are from MBBS or any field, you can enter into these fields. Once you complete there, then with the knowledge that you have gained, you will be eligible for some exams. Like if you want to become a teacher in government colleges, you can enter into that place very easily. How? With this knowledge that you possess. That should be the scope that they should give you. So what I say is, even it should assure you that higher educational opportunities also, in the worst scenario, that will act as a backup. The worst scenario means when we are unable to reach the dreams that we had. At that situations, this is the thing that we have to plan. So these are the 4 things that we have to focus. So how to choose optional? The first thing is not your interest, but the first thing is score. Whether that is scoring or not. Because we are here not for subject in one sense. We are here to gain the rank. If you want to have subject in depth, where you have to go? Enter into academics. Do higher studies, post-graduation, PhD, what are all this? Enhancement of subject. But in UPSC, that is not the thing. This is a general exam where you have to do it. Yes, optional requires some extra understanding. But the most important thing, whatever the optional that you take, we are here to do it for rank or for marks. First try to understand this. Don't confuse that I have interest in psychology, I will go and join psychology. No. Second one is, after score, resources are very important. What do I mean by resources? You should have ready-made materials for you. If you are searching for a topic, that topic should be easily available, at least where you can get some 10 sentences for that topic. This should be the second thing. Resources means material should be available. And then the second thing is mock tests. After preparing, wherever you take coaching, mentorship will be there, right? You'll have your class notes. I'm not speaking about it. But second thing is mock test is important. There should be someone who is conducting tests regularly and evaluating it so that you can test yourself. Third one is mentorship, at least not for the entire year, at least for the time as long as you are in that institution. These are the 3 things that is important. And the last thing is your interest. You should have interest. I do agree. But what I feel is, when we are entering into this subject or UPSC, whether you have interest or not, we will create that interest for that subject. Ultimately, we want the rank, so we must create interest. It cannot go, I don't like ancient history, I will not study. I don't have interest in ancient history. If you don't like, you will go out of it. That's it. So if you want to be here, you have to get interest. That's it. Right? So these are the things. Some people will be saying, I do not have interest in CSAT. If you do not have interest in CSAT, when will you clear prelims? This is the point. What I mean to say is, interest is must. And interest, if you are not getting interest, you have to inculcate interest for getting the score. As simple as it. So this is the one, how to choose optional. Second thing is, how much amount of time. A decent amount of time is some 4 months. Any optional. In the 4 months, you should ensure that the time that you have kept here for 4 months, that should have some ripple effects or spill effects. It should have some resemblance for general studies. If you prepare here with this answer, if you are practicing this answers, you will be able to address at least 3 or 4 sections in GS. So that your burden will reduce there and your time can be utilized effectively. So even if the optional is also removed, no problem. With the knowledge that we have, we can attempt GS also. This is the next thing. And the last one, what I said, it is also useful for this higher educational opportunities. You should also plan for your higher educational opportunities where it will have these things. So these are the first basic requisites for any optional. Whatever the optional that you choose, score, resources, time, score, resources, time are extremely important. Even if optional is removed, how it will have impact and how it will provide some cushion to your higher education or to your life. So depending on this, you have to choose optional. Next, the second way to test, take for example, by using this, you have come to 2 papers. Say, by following this, I found that public administration and political science is important. Like this, you have drawn, and you are unable to distinguish between 2 papers. Which paper I have to decide? If you are in that confusion, whether this or this, simple way to resolve that confusion is take previous year papers of UPSC say you have to decide between sociology, public administration, as well as PSIR. You have narrowed it to 3. Now how to choose here? How to choose is, this is 2024, from 2023 to 2022, 2021, 2020. Last 4-year papers you take for all the 3. Sit before your desk and go through the questions, and once you are going through the questions, you will be having some knowledge. With the knowledge that you have now, see with the present knowledge where you are able to get some answers, for which paper you are able to get the answers with the present knowledge, whatever the knowledge that you have now. Right? So just go through it. Deep inside us it will be telling, okay, if this is the question, I can answer this. Globalization impact on Indian society. So you can answer something on it. So there will be like that for every paper, 20 questions plus 20 questions, 40 questions in each year. So compare the 40 questions of all for 4 years. Now we will come to know where you have some residual knowledge for that subject. Without preparation, you have some knowledge for that subject. Based on that, you can take a call. Whichever subject you have highest knowledge, you can go for that, whatever it is your interest is. Are you understanding what I am saying? So after following this also, now people will not be in a situation to take 2 subjects or 2 optionals, whether this or this. How to choose between 2? Take the papers before, take the previous year questions before, look at the questions, and the moment you are seeing the questions, you will get a feeling whether I am knowing some words or whether I know some of these or not. Because we have completed our academics and we have come here. Some knowledge will be there on each and everything, or on some questions. Check in which paper you have more knowledge. And that would be the perfect way to choose after fulfilling this. After fulfilling this, if you are not able to decide, that is the way. So previous year questions act as a guide for choosing your optional. No need to ask anyone. No need to ask the faculty, no need to ask your parents, no need to ask seniors, nothing. Ask to yourself which optional you want to choose by looking at the previous year questions. That is another way. After getting these things. Clear? So these are the things that you have to choose, or that will be helping you to choose the optional that you want to go for. To choose the optional that you want to go for. Is it clear? How to choose an optional? Next one. So here I have come to say what is the advantages of this optional called PSIR, Political Science and International Relations. For that purpose I have called you here, or they have made you to assemble here. Right. So that is common for any optional. Whatever the optional that you want to take, you can take. But I want to say how PSIR is relevant for us. How PSIR is relevant for us. So when you take political science and international relations, first thing that we have to accept is the subject is bit vast. Compared to other optionals, this optional is something which is bit vast in its extension. Syllabus is vast. I do agree with it. Syllabus is bit vast. Nonetheless, though the syllabus is vast, look at the advantages that you have. First one, what I said, score. Score. Look at the toppers who score in PSIR in the last 3 years or 4 years. On an average, everyone will have score somewhere around 270 plus. Right. And it will give you an opportunity to score up to 330 as maximum. 338 recently they got. This is the range that you can get. And on average you can get 270. If you work consistently on this, you can land into this extreme, 330. Or at least you can cross 330. You can cross 330. or you can cross 300. So an average student who is preparing, this will be the minimum thing that we can assure in PSIR, that can be assured in PSIR. This is the first thing, source, this is the first thing, score. Why I say this, 270 plus is easy here. Unlike other subject, why it is easy? Because in order to know why students score 270 very easily, despite much in-depth preparation, you should know the syllabus, how it is framed here. Syllabus, how it is framed. So every paper or every optional has two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 speaks about political theory and Indian government and politics. Each paper has two sections, section A and section B. Indian governance and politics. In paper 2, again you have two sections, section A, section B. Section A speaks about comparative politics, and comparative politics and theory of IR, theory of international relations. Here, India's foreign policy will be present. India's foreign policy will be present, where you will study how India's relationship with other countries are there, India neighborhood and other countries. So this is the syllabus that we have. If you look at the questions, what they will ask, there are some static questions in the paper, and this is the paper which gives an immense potential with the dynamic questions. The questions that are happening in day-to-day life. The questions that they are happening in day-to-day life. Unlike other subjects which are very static in its nature, with the evolving things, they will ask questions here. Particularly static questions will be coming from political theory, but this Indian government and politics, this is very dynamic in nature. This is very dynamic in nature. What is dynamicity? Say for example, if you are speaking about elections, the latest elections that they have conducted, they can ask a question saying that what are the electoral reforms that government of India has taken so far, and what are the things that we have to take further. In context of EVMs, they can ask the question. And this is asked already. So whatever is happening in our day-to-day life, questions will be reflected here. Similarly, paper 2, comparative politics is theory, and theory of IR itself is international relations theory. This is theory paper, static part. But this is very dynamic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited G7. There is war between Russia, Ukraine, war between Israel and Palestine. So these are very dynamic. So they will be asking these type of questions. These type of questions. Now look, why students will get 270 plus minimum here. Whenever your paper is with the static, whenever the paper is extremely static, say for example paper like geography, it will be always static, or majority of the subject will be static. Take history, static. If they ask a question on rise and fall of Shivaji, you have to write the same thing, you have to write the same thing, you have to write the same thing, I have to write the same thing. In theory, there will be no scope to show our genuinity. Whatever we have taken, the 10 points, more or less everyone writes the 10 points. At max, we will differ with 1 or 2 points. You may be writing 2 other points, I may be writing 2 other points. This is the place where it differs. But almost all the people will be writing the same points in the static. But dynamic topics are those topics where it requires how you have updated with the newspaper or current affairs and you are presenting. There is no ready-made answers for dynamic questions. If you are following what is happening in the India's neighborhood, you will be able to give live examples, real examples. Otherwise, our answer will be back to the so-called static component. You will be still writing 1990s, 1980s, what has happened. No, static you can write, but in the dynamic questions, look at the world, what is happening, and if you are reading regularly the current affairs, you can be able to bring and do it. So it gives a scope. Whenever a question is dynamic, dynamic questions give the scope to enlarge your version and show your uniqueness in answers. Static questions doesn't give it. Static questions doesn't give you. So dynamic questions give it. Now why students will get it? Because all the students who are preparing UPSC, they will be preparing current affairs, at least for prelims they will prepare. You have to prepare them. For that, somewhere or around you will be reading the Hindu or some magazines. When you are reading these type of papers, you will be updated with what are the things that are happening. So even with that knowledge, you can go and attend this dynamic questions. So with the knowledge that you are gaining regularly, you will be able to attempt. And that is the reason why students will not leave any question in this paper, and that is the reason why they will get around 270. When you know something about the question, we will definitely attempt that question. This is the thing that you are going to get here. Why other subjects like anthro or anything? They will be static. If I know, I can write it. If I don't know, how long can I extend it? No, there is no point of extending. But in the dynamic, there will be a point of extending. And this question or this subject gives you that knowledge or that scope to flex your wings. This is the reason. So all the optionals, wherever you have dynamic questions, that papers will have a large variation in the score, and minimum score is assured for them. So this is the optional which will be in synchronization with your GS, because you are studying the Hindu. With that itself you can attempt some questions here. With that itself you can attempt some questions here. This is the first thing that I want to say. As it gives that scope, we can write this. We can make through this. This is the advantage that this optional has. That is the reason why students score it. Same thing in GS paper 2 also. Theory paper is there, dynamic paper is there. This dynamicity gives you the scope to expand. And people who get more than 300 in this paper, why they get? They get more in these areas. They focus here. That makes their paper unique. Staticness won't give us uniqueness. Dynamic paper gives uniqueness. The more you are unique, the more you are representing your uniqueness, the more the score will be. As simple as it. And people who are scoring more than 300 in this paper, where they focus? They focus here and here. Because anywhere here, political theory or theories, everyone will write the same theory. If you are asked to write about Aristotle's state concept, we will prepare it, more or less everyone will write the same thing. But dynamicity will come here. Dynamic nature will involve here. This is first thing that you have to understand. Why students score somewhere around 270 plus in this game? This is the reason. This is the reason. Second thing, source. Second thing, resource. That is core. Second one is source. For PSIR, not only for PSIR, there are some optionals like sociology also or like anthropology also. Those optionals which are taken by majority of the people, there will be always ready-made material. you will have material ready, and you will have decent amount of mock tests conducted by various institutions in the country. You have that scope. You can take coaching here, you can write mock tests there, you can write mock tests somewhere other place, you can take coaching other place. Why? These are the optionals which majority of the students will take. Right? If there is some Telugu literature, you have to go to only that particular place to get that answers corrected. But these type of optionals, anywhere in India, they can have it. So, this is the thing. Ready-made materials and mock tests. And mentors also, whenever the sources are there, mentors will also be there. At least for 6 months, they have to give you a correct idea, or 4 months or 5 months, whatever the preparation is there. They have to give you a fair idea about how the subject is, and then you can expand it. How you can expand it. So this is one subject where you have all this available. Go to Vikas bookstall, you will find them. Resources, right, mock tests, you will find it. This is second thing. Third thing, what is the overlapping component? Time. So I said this subject is vast. Unlike other optionals, yes, I do agree that this subject is vast. Maybe other optionals might be taking you 3.5 months. This optional takes somewhere around 4 months, or it can extend to 4.5 months also. Let's accept that. But once you are preparing this optional, look at the overlapping component that you have. In no other optional you have this much overlap as you have for this subject. In no other optional. That is the reason I say, even if you give for 5 months for this optional, your burden on other optionals are going to reduce. Let me tell you. There is one topic called GS paper 2. What is GS paper 2? Indian polity, governance, social justice, international relations. This entire paper, 250 marks, is covered here. Entire paper. Governance, polity, social justice, international relations. Look at the syllabus between both. You will have the same syllabus in this and on that. Hence, one paper, there is no additional preparation for this. And plus point is, as you practice answers in optional here, your answers will be upgraded here. You can write some dynamic, very dynamic answers there. So this preparation and this preparation gets overlapped. So you are going to save the time which you are thinking that you are lost there. Second thing, come with other points. Come with other points. Look at GS paper 1. In GS paper 1, you have history, Indian history and world history. Indian history will not be covered in this paper. But in world history, there is one topic called Cold War politics, industrialization, how nation states are formed. After the French Revolution, Russian Revolution, if you study in GS paper, world history, these are the things that are covered. World War I, World War II, Cold War, and then Industrial Revolution, how it has happened and how the nation states were created. However, they will ask only one question in world history. At times they won't ask this also in GS paper 1. So this knowledge you have in this paper. Some basics of world history are covered here. Some basics of world history are covered here. Second one, in GS paper 1, you have society. You have society. In society, if you look at GS paper 1 syllabus, you find urbanization, role of women and women's organizations. Right? Theories like social, secularism, communalism, these things. So you have those points again here. You have those points. You have women's movement here. Once we understand women's movement, we will understand how women's organizations are developed, and then you can link it with society. Right? You have certain philosophies here, ideologies here. The study of ideologies will be reflected in society again here. I don't say all the aspects of society are covered. There are 6 topics in GS paper 1 for society. 3 topics are covered for PSIR. 3 topics are covered for PSIR out of that 6. And then you have geography. Geography has no relevance in PSIR. So in GS paper 1, once you study this optional, apart from this optional, the time that you give, what I said in GS paper 1, you can have this overlap with world history and society 50%. Society 50%. This is the first overlapping component that you have. And GS paper 2, I said 100% paper is covered here. 100% paper is covered here. In GS paper 3, you have a topic in economics. First thing is economics. In economics, you study one topic known as, you study a topic in economics known as global economic institutions. Global economic institutions. What are those? World Bank, IMF, WTO. What are their problems? What are their functions? These things are there. These topics are there in economics, global institutions. Second thing, how global economics are operating and what are the changes that you want here. What are the changes that is required for global economics? These things are covered entirely in this paper. These things are covered entirely in this paper. In economics, you have, this is for prelims economics. In mains, you have land reforms. In economics, you have in mains, if you observe GS paper 3 mains, topics, you have land reforms. Land reforms are a component of it. You will study here also. In IGP, you will study here. Third component, green revolution, technology missions in agriculture. This you will see under the policies of Nehru under IGP. So these are the 3 areas that you have in economics as far as GS paper 3 is considered for PSIR, and 1 question or 2 questions will be regularly asking in GS paper 3. With that knowledge you can attempt here. The second thing, the second component here is, next is science and technology, next is environment. You do not have much about this except only one thing. In PSIR you have climate change and global institutions to regulate this climate change. What are the global institutions that you have? You have to study in PSIR. In PSIR there is a topic called common problems of the world, global commons. Global commons, which means which are common to every country, such as environment is common to every country. If climate change is happening in India, that will impact Nepal, that will impact Bhutan, all these countries. So that is called global common. These global commons are a part of, or climate change is one part of it. So environment will be covered to some extent here, global institutions. The third one is, most importantly, in GS paper 3, you have internal security component. In internal security component, you have relation between development and spread of extremism. How extremism is related to development. Like rise of terrorism, right-wing extremism, left-wing extremism, these things. These isms, extremisms, or ideologies are studied under PSIR theory. PSIR theory. How the ideologies were developed, these things. For example, say you are writing about terrorism. What are the problems of terrorism? That you will study directly in IR, in the ideology of terror. These things. In internal security, you have one more component called problems with borders. What are the problems that you are facing from your borders? Internal security problems from borders. GS paper 2, GS paper 3. Internal security lo idundi. You have this. Same thing you'll study here. So these are the relevant components that you have for GS paper 3. Economics, I can say this, not total. Global economic institutions are present totally. Land reforms, yes. Green revolution, yes. The rest of the things is climate change. Just some institutions, internal security. These are the points. Last one is GS paper 4. GS paper 4. What is this? Ethics. Those who have attended ethics classes, you might be knowing, or if whenever you have seen ethics syllabus, in ethics you have, what is ethics? All these things. Ethics is nothing but a branch of philosophy called moral philosophy. Who has given moral philosophy? Moral thinkers have given it. The main moral thinkers in the world are starting from Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, Machiavelli, Karl Marx, these people, Mahatma Gandhi, Ambedkar, Kautilya, Gautam Buddha. All these people are moral thinkers. So, you have a topic in ethics known as contributions of philosophers, moral thinkers, leaders, reformers to ethics. All these people we study under PSIR. Political theory itself, we have this. Western philosophical thinkers, Indian thinkers. Right? So that is relevant here. Second thing. What you have? In ethics, you have governance component. Because ethics in public administration is nothing but good governance. You have good governance and issues related to good governance. Again, this takes you to IGP, governance topic. That topic is already covered under PSIR. So, somewhere around 45% of ethics paper is having overlapping here. 45% of ethics point is overlapping here. The last one is essay writing. How many essays are being asked every year? You have to write 2. How many options they will give? Will they give 4 or will they give? How many essays will they give? In essay writing, they will give 2 sections. Section A, Section B. You have to choose 1 essay from 4 essays in Section A, 1 essay from 4 essays in Section B. Total you have to write 2 essays, each essay containing of 125 mark. There will be 8 essays in total. You have to write 2. Now look at the essay papers from 2021. From 2021, look at the essay papers. Out of 8 essay papers, essay questions, out of 8 essay questions, 5 questions are philosophical essays. Philosophical essays. In order to address that philosophical essays, this paper helps you very much. This paper helps you very much. For example, last year they asked rational is real, real is rational. That is the philosophy of Plato. right? Decision making, visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and reason. Philosophy of Socrates. So what I mean to say is, if you want to write some philosophical essays, I don't say philosophical essays will be directly picked from PSIR, no, but the content here will be useful for major answer writing of essay also. You can write 2 essays with this content very easily. This is the overlapping component that you have as far as this subject is considered. This subject is considered. So first thing what I said, score, why people are scoring in this, 270 plus, why they score, why? Because paper is dynamic. Whenever the paper is dynamic, there will be scope to go for a lot amount of marks. Second thing is resources that I have said. The third one is time. Yes, to be frank, it will take time. 4.5 months it will take because the syllabus is vast. But once you prepare this syllabus, it has some overlapping component. Overlapping component like GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3, GS paper 4 along with essay. So substantial portion of your work will be reduced here. Substantial portion of your work will be reduced. What do you mean by substantial portion of the work? Say, for any GS paper, everyone has to write answer writing, these things. Essay writing, answer writing you have to start. So for any GSR mains, you will be practicing answers. Keep them aside. Start writing answers for PSIR as the subject goes by. At the end of the month, 4th month, look at these question papers and you will directly answer them. This is what you will have. No need to join separate answer writing sessions for this and that. No. Focus on one answer writing, prepare here, focus on one answer writing, upgrade yourself, how to write the answers, the same thing will go and keep there. So that is what I mean to say substantial portion of work is reduced. Work means this, no need to work for separately here. You have given the time, you have practiced here, that will have automatic correlation in the other subjects. Right, this is the next one. So what if the optional is removed? The last one. What if the optional is removed? If the optional is removed, anyhow it has GS overlapping. You are saved there. And if the optional is removed, with what optional they will go? They will go for a common paper like public policy. Public policy is nothing but public administration. Majority of the topics will be from public administration. Right. So public administration and political science have overlapping again. The IGP component of administration is same here. The theories are same here and there. So whenever they replace it with policy making, again this subject will have its relevance. Even if they come out with a common paper down the line after 2 years or 3 years. It will be helpful for your GS. Along with this, you can use it for this section also. This is the importance of this paper. This is the importance of this paper even if it is removed. What about higher education opportunities under this? What about higher education opportunities for this? Every year, for those who have cleared their graduation, if you have completed graduation, you can write CUET, Common Universities Entrance Test. This is the entrance test for central universities in India. Central universities in India. For doing post-graduation. You may be a graduate of any degree. You may be an electrical graduate or engineering graduate, a BSc graduate or degree graduate, or you can be somewhere like an MBBS doctor graduate. You can enter into this union, these things. In CUET, one subject they take is PSIR. You have an subject, and every university in the country has their subjects here. You can enter into any university depending on the rank. After this, the subject that you are preparing here, will be able, or it will be enough to crack this exam. With this exam, at least you can enter into Hyderabad Central University, where you can do your higher education. The knowledge that you possess here. Second thing, with the knowledge that you possess here, it is going to help you National Eligibility Test, NET exam. Today, Government of India is conducting, our National Testing Agency is conducting this, NET. Why NET? NET is to do for researchers, or if you want to become an assistant professors, you have to write NET. This score is compulsory. So you can write this with PSIR, and once you write NET, you will be eligible for degree college lecturers. At least this will be the minimum thing which you can have a backup. Which you can have a backup from here. Right. If you are very good, you can enter into JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University. You can enter into these things. And then write NET, then go. Whenever the state exams are there, there will be separate exams for this. Junior college lecturers, degree college lecturers, right? These things. Then you can be able to enter into them directly with the same amount of preparation that you have. With the same amount of preparation that you have. This is higher education opportunities as far as PSIR is considered. So prepare for 2 years, the entire UPSC. Once you are not able to do it, write CUET, immediately enter into some central universities. 2 years again you will have a scope to prepare there. Your amount will be reduced. Parallel you will be getting a degree. You will be enhancing your academics, and then you can have this opportunity. So it gives a some cushion for your higher studies also, or for your life also. These are the things that you have here. These are the things that we have here. Apart from that, I want to add one more. For prelims. For prelims. It covers two important aspects, polity, IR component. Polity, IR component. Polity, because IGP is covered entirely. What they will ask in prelims? They will ask the Bare Act. You have to know Article 1 to Article 395. That you have to prepare here. I will make you to prepare all the articles, 395 articles. You have to have it. And look at yesterday how many questions they asked, day before yesterday in polity. Those who have written in for this year. Right, somewhere around 19 to 20 questions were directly picked up from polity. This is the scope that you will have. This is the scope that you will have. Once you prepare this entire constitution here, they will not ask beyond it. They will not ask beyond it. And in the classroom, we will make sure that you are preparing that optional, or you are preparing that constitution. So one entire paper is covered here. IR, map pointing, institutions and regions in the news. These are the questions that they are asking in prelims as far as IR is considered. That also are covered in the IR component here. So overall what I mean to say is, you have good overlapping of the component here. You have some good overlapping of the component. So how to choose an optional score? This is scoring. Second, mock tests. You have good amount of availability of mock tests here, along with the mentors. The third component that we have is time. How much time you have to give? It takes some 4.5 months, but it should have some spillover effects. It has a clear spillover effect. And this is the subject where I can say where you will have maximum amount of overlapping with GS. With the GS. So this is first three things. Next one is down the line how it will be useful for your higher studies. You can plan for CUET on these things. The last component is how it can be useful for prelims. This is the one. Right. This is the second thing that I wanted to say for the day. The first thing is how to choose optional, which is common for everyone. The second thing is what is the advantage that you have as far as PSIR is considered. Right. Last component, what we give at AKS IAS for PSIR. First thing is every day it will go like this. The Hindu plus paper A discussion and paper B discussion. Will not confine with one paper, will go parallelly. Take for example, if you are taking theory, we'll be taking up of IGP also. So if it is for 2.5 hours, 1 hour 15 minutes will be one discussion, 1 hour 15 minutes will be other discussion. So that what happens, it will be like preparing for your GS prelims along with optional. And every day the Hindu is must for this. Apart from Hindu, we will tell some references, what to look at it, that references you have to follow. So your current affairs maximum part as well as these two things are going to be covered here. So this is how we take part A, paper A and paper B. Second thing is, the class notes will be anyhow given, not only here, everywhere they will be given. So I don't claim that this is special thing. And you have some ready-made material also. That is also given by everyone. I don't claim here. But what is other thing is, in this section itself, after the completion of each and every topic, we will be doing previous year questions. This is our work. So by the time you are done with this subject, you should be able to know what are the previous year questions that they gave, how to address the answers. Hence, for previous year questions, your answer writing will be done. This will give you a scope to prepare for answer writing, how to answer in the mains. Right, we'll take last 6 years papers and we will be doing previous year questions. From here, you'll get an idea how to frame answers. And if you are interested, you can write your own answers and you can bring it. At the completion of the paper, there are 4 sections, section A, section B, section C, or section A of paper 2, section B of paper 2. At the completion of each and every paper, there will be one sectional mock test. And the completion of one paper, there will be one mock test, and 2 papers, there will be full mock test. Like this, it covers 6 mock tests along with previous year question discussions. No need to join separately here. After testing here, you can go out. If you want to join any other mock test also, you can join. But basic answer writing will be practiced here. This is what I mean to say. At least you should be in a position with the minimum knowledge, even if you don't prepare in depth, how to structure the answer that we should know. How to structure the answer. What are the components that has to be definitely present? What should be the heading? What should be the body? What should be the conclusion? This will make sure that you are doing it. If you do that, we can assure that everyone is going to get at least a minimum score of 270. Why I say 270? Once the answer writing is ready, once you are reading this, if you look at the questions, you will understand how to frame it automatically. This is the thing that we will be covering. So this is one extra component that I can say we are going to give, because this module is taken by me. So this I can minimum ensure. I cannot promise other things. This is in my hand. So these are the things that we'll be providing, and the classes will be for 2.5 hours every day. It will be taking somewhere around 4.5 months to complete comprehensively. No need to prepare outside, no need to prepare some other materials. Whatever the materials that it is required, whatever the references I'll mention here, you just go through it. No need to read or no need to dig in depth. Right, this is the components that we are going to give here. Now look, after this in the higher education, I wanted to say one more. You also have the scope to enter into LLB, lawyer. With the things that you are studying, you will have higher education, that one also. So please note it down also, right? You can have an option to go for LLB also. Major component of syllabus of lawyer, and this one will be overlapping. So these are the things that we wanted to provide you at this institute. The Hindu, paper A, paper B parallelly. Not one paper discussion, two papers will be discussed so that you will get consistency in the preparation and your preparation will be going hand in hand. Class notes will be given, ready-made material that comes from AKS IAS, previous year questions. This is the thing that we are going to cover, and making sure that at least you will be in a position to write some decent answers by the time your preparation is done. By the time your preparation is done. Now how we will take the topic? How we will take the topic? Answer writing or this subject is very, very simple, provided that you understand the links. We have to understand the link. Right. So this subject goes in a very systematic manner. So what are that links that you have to study? That will be explained very clearly here. Links in the sense, start with paper A, paper 1, section A. What are the links that you have? For that links, you have to start with the theory about Western political thinkers, Indian political thinkers. Then you have to go for ideologies. Then you have to go for theories of state. Then you have to go for justice, democracy, equality, power. Done. If you prepare one, you should be able to know how to use it in other domains. You should be able to use it in other domains. The same thing, whatever you prepare here, you'll be reflecting it in IGP component also. IGP. So IGP here, a combination of theory. You have to bring in some theory and write some constitutional provisions of polity. So there should be some link. If you are able to understand the links, you will be able to address this question paper very easily. Right? People appear that it is very difficult, but if you just understand the logic, what or how they are related, you will appear that for every answer there will be some system to frame. That system of the frame or that understanding will be clear from this exercise. Clear from this exercise. These are the things that we will be discovering, that we will be discussing. Apart from that, whatever the books that you want, that I have in soft copy, that you can also take it. How the classes are going and how the classes will be conducted, if you want to have some idea, I have made some classes in my YouTube channel, Dhanunjaya Reddy PSIR. Just go to it, see Dhanunjaya Reddy PSIR, you can type it. You'll get, I have given what are the books that you have to study, what are the various concepts that it is related, then you can have a look at it. Then you can get some idea about how it is going to be done. Right, this is the work, this is the third thing that I wanted to say. What this will be provided in AKS IAS. AKS IAS, what is the third thing that we provide here? So these are the three things that I wanted to discuss for the day. The first thing is how to choose. Second thing is what is the specialty in PSIR. The third thing is what at AKS IAS it is going to be provided. Fourth thing, if you want some basic videos, you can go through that videos. Right. After this, what we will be doing is, if you want to get some still a clear analysis of how the syllabus is there, everything is there, we are planning to conduct one what you call workshops. There will be some 4 workshops, each of 1.5 hour duration, just like this. For 4 days I will take continuously. There I will introduce you to the syllabus, how the syllabus is interlinked, and then I will make you to understand how to analyze the syllabus. Second component is I will show you how the syllabus and questions are being linked. We'll take previous year questions in the workshop, and then I'll also show you what are the books that you have to refer if I want to refer you to something. These are the things that I am going to bring you in the workshop. Workshop is going to be organized in the next week of June. After this Sunday, we are going to organize this. We have some little work with the students who are passing this prelims, so I have that discussion. So after this, I'll plan for the new batch. So those who are writing prelims this year or those who are writing PSIR this year, I have some engagements with them. So after that, we'll be starting here. So that workshop you attend, then you'll get a complete overview about how to address this paper. This is what I wanted to tell for the day. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll wind up the session here. I'll give you 1 minute. If you have any questions, you can ask me. How many of you are AKS IAS students here? How many are not AKS IAS students? Ma'am, how did you come to know? You are my students, right? How are you? Didn't give prelims this year? Sir, how did you come to know? My Telegram group. You attended Laksha program. You didn't write prelims, sir? Okay, right. So the rest of the students are AKS IAS students, right? Right, then we'll wind it up. Workshop will be announced. For that you can attend and then you can take a call. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.